This is Radio Nepal. I'm Manjil Ghimire with the news. The headlines first. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda asserts Democratic Republic as non-negotiable and dismisses anti-democracy voices as meaningless. Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirms death of 6 Nepali nationals while serving for Russian army in recent war. And at least 13 people killed in armed fighting in India's Manipur state. Now, the news in detail. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda has said that there is no alternative to a democratic republic in Nepal while describing the anti-democracy voices as meaningless. In an interaction with the editors at the Prime Minister's office, Singh Durbar, yesterday, Prime Minister Prachanda said diplomatic republic is the system adopted by the world and also chosen by Nepali people in Nepal. Referring to recent demonstrations being carried out by raising questions over the constitution, democracy and the republic, Prime Minister Prachanda said that there is no reason or ground for such voices and that the government and pro-republican political parties were unanimous in further consolidating the foundations of the republic. On a different note, Prime Minister Prachanda also said that the ruling alliance of the political parties in the current government will not be broken. Furthermore, Prime Minister Prachanda said that the voices have been raised for multiple sides to suspend the social networking site TikTok and added that the government has no intention to block it permanently. Saying that there is nothing that can be regulated, Prime Minister Prachanda rather urged all to share the feedback regarding the ways to put effective regulatory provisions to that end. Likewise, Prime Minister Prachanda said that the government has focused its activities in resolving the economic crisis the country is facing. On the occasion, he also shared that the government is preparing to conduct a national-level consultation soon. Likewise, Prime Minister Prachanda shared that the government has made several decisions on microfinance and cooperatives-related policies, banks' interest rate, and economic packages to the business community. During the meeting with the journalist, Prime Minister Prachanda said that the COP28 ongoing in the United Arab Emirates has seen several debates on issues related to Nepal. Prime Minister Prachanda shared that the advocacy of the climate change impacts on Nepal by UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres was fortunate for us. He believed that Nepal would get justice as we have to become more resilient to the climate change impacts. During a query from the editors in regard with the status of Bipin Joshi, presently held captive by the Palestinian militant group Hamas in Israel, Prime Minister Prachanda said that the government has been assured of his release. Prime Minister Prachanda said Nepal has appealed to Qatar that facilitated the ceasefire in Israel to take initiatives to bring him safely back home. Furthermore, Prime Minister Prachanda said the government would study and investigate further regarding the recent reports about the sale of shares of Ancil, the private telecommunications service provider based in Nepal. On a different note, Prime Minister Prachanda said that he was holding diplomatic talks with India to implement the new political map of Nepal that was unanimously endorsed by the country's parliament and maintain the Nepali territory according to the map. Similarly, Prime Minister Prachanda claimed that investigation into the fake Bhutanese refugee scam and Lalita Niwas land grab scam and action against other land mafia, among others, were spearheaded by the incumbent government's commitment against corruption. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has confirmed the death of 6 Nepali nationals while serving for the Russian army in Russia's recent war with Ukraine. Issuing a statement, the ministry has identified the deceased as Sandeep Thapalia of Gorkha, Rupak Karki of Kapilvastu, Devan Rai of Pokhara, Pritam Karki of Syangja, Rajkumar Ruka of Dolakha, and Gangaraj Mokhtan of Ilam. The Foreign Affairs Ministry has reiterated its position that the government of Nepal does not grant permission for recruitment in any foreign army apart from those in a few countries as per traditional agreements. The ministry has urged the Russian government to immediately send bodies of the Nepali nationals killed and compensate their grieving families. It also urged Russia not to recruit any Nepali in its army and immediately send them back to Nepal if there were any. The Ministry further stated that the ministry further stated that the government had been taking initiative to bring back Vivek Khatri, who is currently in Ukrainian custody. It has also urged everyone not to join military of any war-torn countries for financial motives. Government spokesperson and Minister for Communication and Information Technology Rekha Sharma has called on the District Disaster Management Committee to construct makeshift shelters to protect Jajarkot earthquake victims from cold. In a review meeting of the District Disaster Management Committee organized yesterday, Minister Sharma asked all ministries and government bodies to focus on protecting and managing the lives of quake victims. Meanwhile, inaugurating the province-level training to women journalists at Bhalobang of Dang yesterday itself, Minister Sharma stressed the need for creating an enabling atmosphere for women journalists to retain them in the profession. Chief Justice Biswambar Prasad Shrestha has administered oath of office and secrecy to newly appointed chairperson and members of the Special Court. The newly appointed chairperson and members of the Special Court were sworn in at a program organized at Supreme Court yesterday. A meeting of the Judicial Council held on 21st of November decided to recommend Judge of High Court Tipayal Tik Narayan Kumar as the chairperson of the Special Court. Similarly, the meeting had recommended Judges Tej Narayan Singh Rai, Ram Bahadur Thapa, Murari Babu Shrestha and Ritendra Thapa as the members of the Special Court. The CPN-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli has said exploration of petroleum products in Dailek district will help achieve the long-term goal of prosperous Nepal. Leader Oli, who reached Dailek as part of his party's resolution journey for prosperity of Julagat Chiwa Vanjang, stressed the need for extracting petroleum products for the development of the nation. This news comes to you from Radio Nepal. Now on to some international updates. Israel's military has ordered the evacuation of a fifth of the main city in southern Gaza as it expands its ground offensive against Hamas. Citing witnesses, BBC reported seeing tanks to the east, and a doctor said a local hospital was overwhelmed by casualties. Many of Gaza's 2.3 million residents are sheltering in the south after being previously ordered to leave the north. Israel launched a full-scale campaign in Gaza in response to an unprecedented cross-border attack by Hamas gunmen on October 7, in which at least 1,200 people were killed and about 240 others taken hostage. Gaza's Hamas-run health ministry has said almost 15,900 people have been killed in the territory since the war began, while the United Nations says a humanitarian catastrophe is unfolding. A police official has said at least 13 people have been killed in a gunfight between two unknown armed groups in India's Manipur state. Their bodies with multiple bullet wounds were found on Monday in a village in the northeastern state's Tengopal district, where the official said a massive gunfight was reported. The killings came 7 months after deadly ethnic clashes erupted between members of the majority Meitei group and the minority Kuki-Zo community over sharing government benefits and quotas. The sporadic violence since 3rd of May in the remote state has killed at least 180 people and displaced tens of thousands of others. Rescuers in Indonesia have said 11 hikers have been found dead near the crater of Mount Merapi volcano after it erupted over the weekend. 12 others are missing, and the search was suspended on Monday, that is yesterday, after another smaller eruption. There were 75 hikers in the area during the main eruption on Sunday, but most were safely evacuated. Mount Merapi is one of the most active of Indonesia's 127 volcanoes and is also popular among hikers. Now the general weather forecast for the country. Meteorological Forecasting Division has forecast the weather to be partly to generally cloudy in Kosi, Madhes, Bagmati, Gandaki and Lumbini province and partly cloudy to mainly fair in the rest of the country today. Light rain is likely to occur at one or two places of Kosi, Bagmati and Gandaki province with chances of light snowfall at one or two places of the high hilly and mountainous region of the country today. According to the latest information provided by the division, the minimum temperature of Kathmandu Valley is recorded as 7.7 degrees Celsius and the maximum temperature as 17.6 degrees Celsius. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news bulletin from Radio Nepal for this hour, but before wrapping it up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once more. Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda asserts Democratic Republic as non-negotiable and dismisses anti-democracy voices as meaningless. Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirms death of 6 Nepali nationals while serving for Russian army in recent war, and at least 13 people killed in armed fighting in India's Manipur state. This is all we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can listen to us online on our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np and our mobile app. For more news and information, keep listening to Radio Nepal. Have a good day.